Welcome back, everybody, to Not Too Old Timers. I'm Brian,
And I'm Corey.
and we are not too old timers sitting around telling stories and talking about things.
Not too old, thankfully, for
Yeah,
me.
not yet, anyway.
I think I got so far from the microphone. I feel old. My body's falling apart on me. Oh my god, tell me about it, dude. I am feeling it, dude. I got a newborn baby. Oh, it's so hard. She's at the stage now where she wants to get picked up nonstop, and it's rough.
Yeah, yeah, I remember when my son was that way. Anytime you'd put him down, he would just scream and holler, so you'd be carrying him around all day long
That's it,
for
man.
literally
That's
no
it.
reason.
I'm
So,
blessed though. It's good. It's a good life. Just rough.
yeah, yeah, I'm really happy for you guys, man.
Yeah. Hey, man. I heard you went on vacation recently, and part of your
Yes,
vacation was a cruise ship.
yes.
You
So,
told me one thing about this cruise ship without anything else, and I really want to hear the story because what you told me sounded absolutely disgusting. I don't know anything about cruise ships, but I'm pretty sure that's not the standard. I would hope. Oh my god.
yeah, yeah. So for those, I'm not sure if we mentioned it before, but Corey and I have been away for quite a while because I was on vacation for about a month. Um, and the wife and I had decided to take a cruise ship for the first time. We had never been on one,
Fancy
so
pants.
we were really yeah, yeah. Uh, we were really looking forward to it and everything, and so we spent the money. We got the good package. We got everything that we kind of needed. Um, we wanted it to be a fun experience since we hadn't done it prior. So and we went with some friends, so we had somebody that had some experience and whatnot. But the first day, so for anybody that's ever been on a cruise, you go through this big old line and you gotta wait and do all this other stuff. Well, we finally get on the boat and we get to our room, and the wife was like, I need to go to the bathroom real quick. So I was like, yeah, yeah, that's fine. Just before we were going to go eat. And she gets in there, and all I hear her say is, oh my God. And so I jump up and I run in there. It was almost like she said it like she found a body. It was one of those things like, I was like, what? So I run in, and she was looking at the toilet seat, and the toilet looked like somebody had explosive diarrhea in it, and they didn't properly clean it. There was just kind of just shit everywhere, and I was just like, "What?
Was
Wait a
that
minute.
old
This
movie?
is
There's
wait,
shit
what?
on the windows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah." On Dumb and Dumber, that was that movie. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Um, but yeah, so we and they set you up with a concierge guy who basically manages the floor. He brings you stuff, he cleans the rooms, he does things like that. So we mentioned it to him, and he comes in and cleans it and everything, and they're apologetic about it and everything. But
I would hope so. This
this is
is your
not.
introduction into the whole
Yeah,
ship. Like you go to your room, you get in this long line. You're hungry. You get to your rooms. You go to drop your bags off.
yeah,
Add to
and it's
taking a
just
shit in the toilet and go eat, man.
yeah.
And you're met with
So
porta potty, fucking MRE bomb disaster.
yeah, it was just like, and it's probably more exaggerated than it actually was, but it was bad. It was bad enough that we were just like, this can't be how this goes. This this just can't be what. So anyway, they cleaned it up, and so that was just the start. That was before the boat even left the dock.
Oh my god.
So
Now,
um,
I kind of
yeah, go
wonder,
ahead.
as far as the boat's plumbing goes and everything. It's a ship, right? So like there's going
Yes.
to be pressurized systems and whatnot. So I kind of wonder if that wasn't common throughout the whole floor, if there was some kind of backup pressure during docking or cleaning or draining or whatever that the sewage backflowed up into the bowls. It wouldn't have been just your room. But on the other hand, if it was just your room, like literally the guy who left
Yeah.
ate too many
Yeah. Well,
burritos. Oh man, and they
something that
just
it didn't
straight
agree
didn't
with him.
clean it. Yeah, and then they did
Yeah.
not clean it during the room cleaning.
Yeah. It was rough, and again, it, and towards the end of the story, I'll allude to more information that we found out as we went along. But
Oh yeah.
um, so that first day, and this was a standard ship. It was a princess ship, so it wasn't
I don't know
like
what
one of
that
these
means.
little
I
tiny ones.
remember I
It's the
remember I
company.
remember Princess. Oh, okay, okay. I remember during COVID stuff there was a Princess ship and I want to say it docked in our local harbor and it was like the very start of COVID and like the cruise ships were getting hit with it because they were all going international and stuff and locked up in close quarters. But okay, so it was the company. This isn't like a type a type of ship as in like the Navy would say this is a certain class or something like that.
No, no, it's not
No.
like yeah. No, this is the company. So you have like the Royal Caribbean and Virgin and all these other, but Princess is the company. They have several different ships and several different designs, but this was just and we were doing an Alaska cruise. So anybody that's been I don't remember the exact name of the ship, but um, so in on this ship, in the center part of the ship, they have the elevator, the elevator and stairs area. And in this area they have, what is it? One, two, three, four, five, six elevators. And, you know, with the wife having the walking issues and everything, she was using a chair. We bought her a
Good.
specialized wheelchair.
Yeah, I have to do that
Um,
when I travel international, especially the flight over the Pacific. Oh my God, dude. It's too much for
yeah,
me. I have to get in a chair. It's a little bit
yeah, yeah.
embarrassing, but it's so needed.
Well, and we bought her this really really cool new style chair that folds up like a scissor. It's got a scissor movement, so it makes it really tiny.
Mm-hmm.
But it's super powerful. It's super fast.
Oh, like
Um,
actual motorized chair.
oh yeah, it's an electric wheelchair.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So
Okay, okay.
yeah. So because what we found when we went back for my son's graduation a couple years ago, and she needed a chair. It was just too much for me to carry all the luggage and then try to push her in a chair and do all this other stuff. So I said, hey, if we're gonna do this, if we're gonna do any kind of travel, let's make sure that we get you a chair that you're comfortable in, because a lot of it was
Damn,
I
that's a
would
good
walk too
idea.
fast, or yeah,
That's a really good idea.
she felt like she was kind of out of control as well. So I was just
Yeah.
like, let's get you a chair you can control. You can go at your own pace. You can maneuver around things how you want to maneuver around things. You don't have to worry about me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we just bought her. We bought her this really nice chair, and so we brought it along, and it to be honest with you, the chair was a game changer. Not just through the airports, but it started in the airport. As soon as we were able to, because they allowed her to take her chair all the way down the jet bridge and everything, and then she would just walk to her seat,
Right.
and then they would gate check the chair, and then bring it back out right there at the airplane again. So it was just a total game changer.
Oh man, I might have to look into getting something like that.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk, and I'll,
Mm.
I'll give you the information for what we're using. But
Particularly when I
um,
start international travel.
yeah, yeah. So she's using this chair, and we have to use an elevator. She can't use the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at any given time, there's only one or two elevators out of those six that are running. So, and nobody apparently on the boat wants to use the stairs. So, during the meal times and everything and the show times, the area around the elevators would pile up. There would be 30, 40 people just standing around on each floor waiting to use an elevator.
Hmm.
And, Shinako being in a chair and everything, you would think that people would be a little more generous or
Oh
whatever. Oh
no,
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 oh no.
no, no, no.
And it's like you have these 6 elevators. Why is only one or two of them running at any given time? It makes absolutely no fucking sense, especially when you got 30, 40 people per floor just waiting to use this fucking elevator.
Right.
So it got very frustrating even on that very first day, just trying to move around, um, because it was so we were so limited and people weren't very kind as far as letting the people in chairs go first. Um, but I get it also when you can only fit 8 people in an elevator that only moves per
A
one
chair
or
is
two
not
floors
taking
every
up
few
a one
minutes.
person slot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it. But a lot of those people that were waiting, they could have easily taken the stairs. And again, I get that. And we were on the ninth floor, um, and then most of the dining was like on the fifth floor, fifth and sixth floor. So if you're going down, just walking down, 3 or 4 flights of stairs isn't a big deal. I get walking up, but so it just got very frustrating that they had all these elevators, but only one or two of them were working at any given time.
Right. I think that's the frustrating part, right? It's like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and especially when you see it now, if those other elevators weren't there, it would just be the norm. Yeah, there's
yeah,
three
yeah,
elevators.
yeah. So so from the get that it didn't
Sounds like a
seem like
maintenance
this.
issue. Yeah.
No, 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 no. They all worked.
Oh, no
They
kidding. They
just
just
weren't
turned them
running.
off. They just didn't run all of them through. Even high
It,
peak travel up and down, like
yeah,
mealtime, a
yeah.
power consumption issue?
Maybe or maintenance or whatever. But at any
Huh.
random time, the different elevators would all run. They would like you'd have one and four going at any given time, and then it would be 2 and 6, and then 3 and 5 or whatever. But at any given time,
Hmm.
you know, only two of them would work or would be running, but they all worked. So I didn't understand why they didn't just have like during meal times, why they didn't just have all 6 running.
During high peak.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
High peak usage.
So we had to deal with that, and that was pretty much the whole 7 days. And then on like the third day, when we wanted to do like one of the shore excursions, or the fourth day, um, we booked the shore excursion, as soon as we booked the cruise, because we knew
Mm-hmm.
this was the Yukon train. We were taking the train up through the Yukon.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, yeah, and it a lot of different sites and things like that. But it was something where Schnocko didn't have to do a lot of walking, and we could just sit and look at the mountains and things like that.
Beautiful. Alaska, the land in Alaska is incredible. It's freaking
Yeah,
absolutely incredible. I've done some time traveling through Denali and everything, and it's just every time
yeah,
I
yeah.
go,
We
it's
did.
absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, we did that. We went up through Denali and all that. Um, but on this specific excursion that we booked, it was the only time we wanted to get off the boat. Well, fucking, they didn't say anything when we booked the excursion, but it was um, you had to ferry. Apparently, they had some kind of rock slide 2 years prior that took out the pier, so they
Hmm.
had to water ferry you back and forth. Well, that water ferry thing was fucking ridiculous. Trying to get
So you
Shinako
couldn't
on, and then
actually
trying
get
to
the
get the
cruise ship to
chair.
the port. You couldn't get the cruise ship to the
Yeah,
port.
yeah,
They had to do a smaller sending
yeah.
voyage.
Like the little 40
A
man.
dinghy.
Yeah,
You're out there in
yeah.
a
And
fucking
I had
blow
to
up raft.
row.
What the hell are you
But
rowing
they
for?
had to.
She's got a motorized scooter. Stick her in the water and say go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um, so just getting on that to go on the excursion was rough, but
Mm,
getting off, it was like they made us get on last on the boat, and then they made us get off first,
yeah.
but they wouldn't take her chair up because you had to walk up these stairs. Well, they helped her up the stairs at least, but they wouldn't take her chair up, so they made her just kind of sit down on the floor up top. they were letting 50 other fucking people go until finally I got so fucking angry that I stopped people going up the stairs and I said, "We need to get this thing upstairs to my wife so that she can fucking move."
Yeah.
And I was super mad and they were like, "Well, we'll do it after." I was like, "No, you already sent her up there. She's sitting on the goddamn floor." And then finally one of the workers was like, "Yeah, I'll carry it up." I said, "I'm not asking you to do it by yourself. I'll help you. I'm just saying we need to stop people from going up this fucking ladder so we can get it up there."
Oh my
I
god.
was so fucking mad.
Now in my head I've got this. I've got this pier that's damaged. There's these boulders that came down from this sheer face cliff to take everything out, and you guys are climbing up some fucking rinky ass rope ladder. This is the image
This
I've
was
got in my
actually
head.
this is on the ship. This is actually when we were
Oh,
getting
it's
back
still
on
on
the
the
ship.
ship, even better. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it was fucking rough.
Oh, I love
So
it. I
eventually,
love it.
me and this guy carried the chair up there, and everybody else that was there was like, "Yeah, they should have fucking carried this up." They a couple ladies stopped to talk to my wife because they didn't want her to sit there by herself. They were like, "What took so long?" I was like, "They were trying to get
The
everybody
same
off
ladies
that
that didn't
boat."
take the damn stairs and waited on the elevator.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Fucking ridiculous.
Oh, that's fucking
So,
awesome, dude. What a great
so
experience.
that was like the 4 days in, and then and just and don't get me wrong, the first few days because we were so jet lagged, we didn't do anything but eat and sleep the first two
Mm-hmm.
days.
Right, right.
And so the people that we traveled with were like, "You guys, there's things we could do." I was like, "Just go on without us. We're fine. We just need we got to kick this jet lag."
Yeah.
So the first 2 days we just ate and slept, and then after the fourth day, after that excursion, the fifth day was going through Glacier Bay. So we went out and saw the glacier. Mind you, the weather was kind of shitty the whole time. It was cloudy. It was rainy. It was cold for June. So
Hmm.
um,
Uh, okay. It's
yeah.
Alaska,
So
right? But
yeah,
you're on the water. You're not more inland. Usually the
yeah,
water is
yeah,
more temperate.
yeah. It was pretty cold enough that you know, and I could tell you. I'll tell you the story. Anyway, I had to. Well, let's go on a side tangent here real quick. Um, we landed in Seattle, and my dumbass didn't really think about it being cold because it was June. Well, we look at the weather in like Alaska and everything, and it was fucking cold. So I was like, "Fuck! I didn't bring a jacket." All I brought was like this really thin hoodie. So we went, and we're in Seattle, and so we're going to Uniqlo. You know, the wife is all about Japanese stuff. So we're going to Uniqlo to buy a down jacket for me. Well,
In preparation for the cold.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Uniqlo is literally in the middle of downtown Seattle. So
Uniglow or Uniqlo?
yeah, Uniqlo, the
Uniqlo.
Japanese company.
Okay,
Yeah,
they got that in the States?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, huh. I didn't know that. Huh. But
yeah.
you were
So
saying it like Uniglow, like you were gonna
no,
glow, like
Uniqlo,
glitter and
Uniqlo.
neon, a Uniglow, and I'm like, man, that's like a
No,
really
no,
gay way to say that name, Uniglow, in Seattle of
no,
all places.
Uniqlo.
I was like, all
Yeah.
right, this is gonna be an awesome down jacket.
So yeah, well, and it is. It's a nice jacket, but anyway, um, see, and I don't know if we have viewers or listeners or whatever from Seattle, but Seattle was rough.
Mm.
It was
I've
very
been
rough.
through there. Oh gosh, dude, I went through there probably about 15 years ago. God, it might have been going on 20 years now. It was fun, but it's a rough place. It's not a place I would like
Yes.
to live.
No.
I can't imagine what it is now.
Yeah. Um. So, yeah. So anyway, the point was that I had to buy a jacket because it was so cold for the cruise. Back to the cruise real quick. So we finished out the last few days. We really didn't do much. Our traveling companions kind of did the shore excursions. We kind of just did our own thing.
Hang
Um,
out on the ship.
and we kind
Spend
what's
some
that?
good time. Hang out on the ship. Spend some good time together. Vacation.
Yeah,
Relax. Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of the whole thing. Whereas this other couple, and they're
Oh
kind
yeah.
of go getters. They wanted to
They're
go
they're
do
they're
everything.
all the sightseers. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, even though they've done this cruise like twice.
Mhm.
So it was just, um, and because of the chair, Shinako was kind of limited, so we
Yeah.
really had to pay attention to that. But um, so we enjoyed the food. We since we did get the upgraded package, we did the fine dining stuff and did kind of that kind of thing, and went to some shows, and they had some decent shows, and we really got into the. It took us like to the last 2 days basically to where we really got into the groove of it, of how the cruise life. The elevator still didn't fucking work, and it was that was kind of the only thing that rubbed me raw the entire trip. But the concierge service worked really well. They had decent room service, so it turned out real well towards the end. Now that we know what to expect from this kind of stuff, if we do a cruise later in the future, maybe a year or so down the road, because they are so expensive,
Mhm.
or not a year, but a couple years down the road, um, we'll do it a little differently. We'll plan a little bit more accordingly, and
You
and
have an idea of what you're getting into.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was basically the cruise story. The rest of the vacation went well. We did a trip to Denver to visit my family, um, and my son met us in Denver, so we got to spend time with him, which was great. Um,
How's Colorado doing these days? I've heard it's kind of going to shit.
well, I mean, it
It's
depends on where
a
you
secluded
are
area.
because yeah, I
Mm,
grew up in a really small town, so
yeah.
in the middle of the Rockies. I mean, literally smack dab in the middle of the Rockies. Um,
I guess that's a good
so
point. It
when we
depends on where you are. So you're kind of still you're the Wild West still.
Yeah,
Your
yeah. I
hometown.
mean, we
Yeah.
went up there and nothing's really changed. I mean, ever
Things
since the
change slow out there
Killdozer
in the country.
incident.
Right?
What's that?
Said things change slow in the Wild West when you're out in the country.
Yeah. Well, I
There's no
mean,
reason for
yeah,
change.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you had
Nobody really
your
wants to live there
Killdozer.
because there's nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had your
So
guys' incident. That was the excitement of the century.
yeah. So ever since then, they had to rebuild the town hall and the hardware store and things like that. But other than that, nothing's really changed. They're building more condos and stuff out there now for around the ski resorts. But it's not, they've always had condos. They're just building more now.
Yeah.
But like my niece was telling me that a developer built a bunch of condos up there in my town, and nobody bought them. So they're just sitting vacant. They've been sitting vacant for like 5 years.
It's part of the housing crisis where it's like
Well, and
there's a
nobody
lot
wants
of
to really live
places
in the middle of nowhere
that makes yeah,
where
that's
there's no
happening a lot.
work.
That's happening a lot in Japan too, where these
Yeah,
houses are going, family houses are going, parents are passing away, the kids don't want them, they don't sell them, they don't pay the taxes on them, they're just, rotting away. They sell them for
yeah, and then
dollars.
yeah, then the state takes over and then sells them to foreigners for 35 grand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they make
Not so
Airbnbs
much
out
here
of
in
them.
Okinawa, but in mainland.
Not too much, but very, very common in mainland. Not here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The island is only going to increase in population. I know where I live right now, it's a little bit countryside. You know that. I very,
Yeah.
very purposefully bought into the countryside to stay away from the population. However, I do know that in 20, 30 years, the population will increase where I'm at. And I'm sure it'll all be filled up with housing. But,
Well, it's all going to be
that'll be towards
pushing
the end of
north
my
as
life.
well,
Absolutely. Yep.
up towards not going towards Nago and whatnot.
Yeah, that'll actually be a really good place to live. Nago area is such a beautiful place, man. Every time I drive up north to go camping and everything, and I get to drive through Nago, just going in that coast and seeing the waters right there. There's such beautiful waters because it's that area within the Pacific, and it's still relatively shallow right there, and it's all that turquoise green blue. It's incredible, man. Every time I go over there,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the ocean because it's just so beautiful. And I mean, shit, I see the
Yeah.
ocean right here where I live, right? Like there's the ocean, but it's got
Yeah.
nothing on Nago waters.
Well, Naga's on the western side, so that's the East China
Yeah,
Sea or
exactly.
whatever it is,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
not the
True, true. I
Pacific.
said the Pacific. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I got the Pacific on
Yeah.
my side. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's nothing out there. It's boring.
There's a bunch of Navy ships and cargo and
Yeah.
stuff out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's
but
where
yeah,
we
other than that,
store all of our munitions out there. Put all our munitions on boats and we let them float out there in the waters. We don't keep them on land.
okay then.
It's much safer that way. If they blow up, it's just like, okay, yeah, fucking shit ton of munitions blew up in the middle of the water.
Yeah. Just left a big hole in the water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Problem is you got to get it
So,
to land if you start war. You got to get
yeah.
that supply chain going.
Well, logistics. It's all about logistics.
You know, someone famous once said something along the lines of the warfighter uh, wins the battle, but logistics wins the war. It's very
Yeah.
very true. You got to get logistics right.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a weird tangent to get on, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, so after Colorado, we went up to Vancouver, and so that was another eye-opening experience. Vancouver's not a huge city, but it's a pretty decent sized city,
Mm-hmm.
and the homelessness and the open drug use on just any street that you turn down in Vancouver, in downtown Vancouver, was I yeah, I felt bad for people for the first time in a long time because we don't have that stuff here. You might see a homeless dude here and there, but it's
We
not
don't
like
have
we
that. We
walked
don't have that
by.
where we are. But if we lived in the States, we would see an increasing number of it.
Right. Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that we don't see it here, you and I.
No. Yeah.
But so because I was in the States, it was just we walked by this group of four people.
Mm-hmm.
They were just openly smoking meth in the middle of the on the
Right.
corner of a street.
Right.
Yeah,
You
and it
know,
was just so
I went
so
back
unfortunate.
a couple years back. I went home to North Carolina. That's my home. It's not where I grew up or anything, but that's where I live when I'm in the States now. I went back to North Carolina. I needed to get a driver's license in person. There was that new something real ID or something. I needed to be in person with it with all the
Mm.
paperwork, right? But we flew
Yeah,
in, and you
yeah.
were talking about being jet lagged, and me and the wife were so incredibly jet lagged when we got there. We spent, I think, 2 days, and nearly the entire 2 days was us in the hotel room just sleeping, and it was just the oddest hours of the day. And we had like a Waffle House across the street that we would go to, and weird ass times of day, and we would just run into these characters, and she was just getting this massive awakening into crime characteristics of the
Oh yeah,
states. And there was a
yeah.
point in time when we were walking down the street and I told her, get on the other side of me. And she thought I was joking or trying to be funny like that. And I grabbed her by the arm and I fucking physically got her on the other side of me, and we passed what we passed. And we continued walking until we were out of, talking distance of what we had passed. And I looked at her and I said, next time I tell you to get on the other fucking side of me, I am not joking. Do not ignore me in situations like this. Like I was a little hostile because it was such a dangerous situation. I was like, fuck, man. I really don't need to expose you to this side of American culture, United States. Like this is
Yeah.
this is bad. She doesn't know how to see that because she doesn't recognize it. She didn't grow up with it. She doesn't see
Yeah.
it, you know.
Yeah, but my wife's the exact same way, man.
Yeah. I mean, we went to one of the 100 yen stores, the dollar stores locally here, right? And this older lady was in the parking lot wandering around, I don't know if she was begging for money. I think she was begging for money. But I saw her immediately when we walked into the parking lot, and we were just walking through the parking lot, you know. And I took a detour around the parking lot, and the lady still like tracked us down, and I shoved her off, and I said, "Get away from me," you know. And I didn't physically shove her. I put my hand up, you know, "Get away from me. I don't want to talk to you." And my wife was like, "How the hell did you see that lady?" And I was like, "You didn't see her. Like as soon as we walked into the parking lot, she was blatantly obvious. You know, she
Yeah,
doesn't look for that. She doesn't recognize it. She doesn't
yeah,
culturally it doesn't exist here. You know,
yeah.
much
Well,
doesn't
and
exist much.
I Shinako and I had this long conversation as well, because with her being in a chair in the states,
Way more
it makes it a little
vulnerable.
bit more. Well, it makes it a little bit more difficult for us to kind of, because typically you walk hand in hand, side by side.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she doesn't want to be in front of me, and I can't have her behind me.
Right.
And I tried to explain that to her. I said, "You got to understand, I can't see what's going on behind me and pay attention to what's in front of me. If you're in front of me, I can watch over you and still pay attention to what's around me."
Right.
But she just does it doesn't register to her that that's necessary until we went through Seattle. And then she was like,
Oh
"Oh
man.
shit." She was like, "Oh, okay. This guy's looks like he's following us." I was like, "He is
He
following us."
is. Yeah, he is.
And she was like, "Why?" I was like, "He's gonna ask us for money. As soon as we stop moving, he's gonna ask us for money." And sure as shit, he was like, "Hey brother, you got any change on your man?" I was like, "Man, it's alright. I don't carry any cash." And he wasn't a dick about it or anything. He was like, "All right, thanks, man. Have a blessed day." I was like, "Sorry, man."
He was just
But it's one of
motivated
those
and
things
animated.
that's
Yeah. But you don't
yeah,
know how those
it's just one
situations
of
are going
those.
to go down.
Yeah, because we had a very bad situation in California when we lived there.
Mm,
Same thing. That's what I hated about California too. Fuck, the gas stations were like
they're bad.
they would come out of the fucking woodwork when you'd stop to get gas.
Dude,
You
I
know,
took
it was
I
just like this.
I took a motorcycle trip. I was in high school at the time, and I was joining the military, and I had to go down to the MEPS. You know what the MEPS are, right? It's like
Yeah,
the ultimate
fucking
recruiter, right?
what?
So I went down to the MEPS. I had to travel down. I had to travel all the way down to San Francisco because that's where the MEPS station was. So I fucking rode my motorcycle, just me, all the way down to San Francisco to do MEPS fucking stuff, right? And I got done doing the MEP stuff, and I went to travel home, and I needed to get gas. And I live pretty fucking far up north, right? Like I'm from Northern California, like the mountains in Northern California, right? And I needed to stop and get gas, and so I cross the bridge and I get onto the northern side of the bay, and I get off and I stopped in Oakland and I'm filling my gas up, and it's like a really sketchy place. It's dark out, and I'm looking around, and it's not really there's not a lot of people around. The gas station like window, the I don't know, register whatever,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw was all bulletproof glass, and it was riddled with where projectiles had had ripped
Oh,
the
Jesus
fucking shit. And I was
Christ.
like, oh my god, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like I'm 18 fucking years old. I do not belong here. I'm on a really fucking nice motorcycle that I've bought with my own money as a fucking high school working at Baskin Robbins scooping fucking ice cream. I need to get the fuck out of here because I'm about to get fucking robbed. And I don't even think I finished filling my tank up. Once I realized like the situation I was in, I was just like, nope, fucking, I'm throttling out.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the
We had
cities. That was the cities of California. The cities of California are fucking disgusting, and I hate it
yeah,
because I'm from California, born and raised. Right. I was born in Southern California. We moved up to Northern California, and I was raised in Northern California in the mountains. And I mean, way the fuck in the mountains, right? I love California. I love the area. I love the land, and I love the country culture because it's so wild west. It's very independent. Leave me alone. Let me farm my food, right? Like that's how I grew up, extremely hippie, and I love that life. But fuck, I hate California the way it is. It's so rotten. It's so
right.
oh, it's such a bummer. It's a disaster.
Yeah. Well, s- yeah. So what happened for us is like on day two of being in Victorville, we stopped to get gas, and some dude pulls up behind us and was like, hey man, can I can I can I get what do you say? Can I get a few gallons of gas from you? Could you put a few gallons of gas in my car? And it was this big black dude, and I was just like, sorry man, I got no cash. And he got really angry. He was like, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't ask for any fucking money. I just asked for some gas. Well, there just happened to be a cop uh, sitting in the driveway, and he yelled out the window, "Is there a problem here?" And the dude said, "No, fuck no," and he got in his car and he drove off.
And that's,
But that
yeah,
dude looked like he was going to turn to violence just because I wouldn't offer to fill up his tank. I
yeah,
was
he
just
was.
so after that I was, yeah,
Victorville, that's north of the Los Angeles, outside. That's on the other side of the mountains in the desert, huh? I think
yeah, in
so,
the high
if I
desert,
remember
yeah,
right. Yeah, because
yeah,
I'm from, yeah. That's Riverside, and then you go way more north, and Victorville's up towards that. Because I was
yeah,
born in
yeah,
Ventura County, which is like the Simi Valley. It's more towards the Long Beach side of the Los
yeah,
Angeles
yeah,
area. I'm so
yeah,
glad
no,
I don't live
yeah,
down there. I've still got a lot of family that lives down there, and I swear they don't move. They don't leave. And I'm just like, why do you live there? Like, you guys hate it there. Like, why do you live
yeah.
there? It's crazy.
Yeah, so that just this whole trip just cemented my my belief that I'm currently where we need to be, or we are currently where we need to be. I don't want to go anywhere else. I'm happy here. You know, we're safe here. You know, it's got its pros and cons, but there's far more pros here than there are cons.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big thing
Eh,
with me and in the family. Plus, I got the newborn, right? And it's like, where do I've got the whole world to choose from. Where do I want to raise my daughter? The whole world to choose from,
Yeah,
right? And I think exactly where we're at is exactly where I want to raise my daughter, right?
yeah,
And somewhere in
and
her adult years, she can decide where she wants to travel and do life and learn life lessons, etc., etc. You know.
yeah,
But I'll
and I
be
do
old
want
as
to
shit
preface this.
when she's growing up. So go ahead,
Yeah, well,
preface.
you're already old as shit.
I
I, I,
know
I
that's the
want to
problem.
I want to preface this by saying I understand that the few places I went were major cities, and
Mm,
that there are small, amazing hometowns all over the United States. I get that. I lived in Fort Walton Beach for 15 years total, and I loved that area. It had its ups and downs, but that get away from like the big cities like Pensacola or Panama City or whatever. Navarre where we lived, it was an amazing small town. There was no crime, that we didn't have to worry about shit. So I get that there are areas in the United States that are super safe and super friendly and things of that nature. But my wife does not want to live in some small hometown. She wants to live in a fairly big city. She wants to be able to go and do things, and so it's one of those things where I know that if we did move to the States, it would have to be near, because she hated Navarre. She hated Fort Walton Beach. But as soon as we moved to California, she loved it. Even though, with the homeless and the crime and everything where we were living, but she loved being able to drive down to LA and and get the Japanese food and the Japanese grocery shopping, and so
oh
she
yeah,
loved California.
yeah. There's a big Asian population within California, especially the Los
Yeah.
Angeles area and up in San Francisco area as well. And then you
Yeah.
got that over in
So
Jacksonville. Yeah.
so yeah, it's like I said, I'm not shitting on the United States. I'm just saying that we are much more comfortable here because the things that I worry about as a former military person, I don't have to worry about here.
I think we said a long time ago we have a unique perspective, right? As Americans living overseas, we can look at internal to the U.S. somewhat as an outsider,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and I think we can more easily see some of the rot within our society that isn't so easily recognizable when you're immersed in it.
yeah, and it's like growth. Basically, it's the same thing. When you're living in somewhere and things are growing around you, you don't really notice the change. But when you go away and you come back, you're just like, where'd all this shit come from? It's like,
Very
okay,
much so.
you know, it's the whole what frog in boiling water thing.
Yeah.
You know that adage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it
So
go?
yeah, but that was pretty much my vacation.
That's a I like it. That's a good story. When you told me about the poop in the toilet thing, I was like, stop, don't tell me anymore. This is gonna be a good story.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
I think that
fantastic.
about wraps that up for this one.
Let's wrap up. Let's wrap up this episode. Hey, if you're out there and listening, you like what you heard, what you heard, do us a favor, hit the like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to hear because we want to talk about that. And join us for the next episode, which we should be coming up in about a week if me and Brian can stay on some
Get our
sort of a
shit
schedule.
together.
Oh my gosh. All right. Thanks for joining us today. Bye bye.
All right. Thanks, everybody.